Well, hello! It's been a minute. I think I'm live. Just making sure, doing a sound check because I don't have my normal microphone plugged in. I learned that the camera that I have has a microphone, so if somebody can let me know if they can hear me or not, that would be awesome. Uh, I'm assuming people can because nobody said no sound, no sound, no sound. I see my friend Steven of Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter is in here. Hi, Steven, and hi, Stephanie. And Stephanie says she can hear me just fine. That is awesome. I do have a new little bit of a setup. Just because I disassembled everything to go to Stephanie's retreat. I reassembled everything with my new computer. And it is set up and everything. And the really exciting thing is I can do something new in a minute I will share. Good morning, Designing Jay. Good morning, Lynn. That is awesome. So I am behind on the Fort Worth Fabric Studio. Light It Up, that's what it's called. The last clue, or not clue, they're not clues there. The last week of patterns was about a month ago, but the last month was a little crazy. I had Vlogmas going on. I had Vlogmas going on. We had Christmas, getting my sister's stuff sent out. And a week ago, I was at Stephanie Stitch's retreat here in Georgia. So I hadn't had a chance to get the rest of, or the last week of stuff done. The last week is a bunch of flying geese and then putting it together. So at least while I'm live, I'm going to work on the flying geese. Good morning, Colleen and Sean. I hope everybody is doing well. So the really cool part about my new setup is I can do this because a lot of people have been kind of begging for this. So we can see what I am working on. And that is a little exciting. Good morning, Karen. So hopefully people are more excited that we can see what I am working on. This whole dual camera setup is kind of interesting. Still got to get it worked out and figured out, but it's going to be working pretty good. I hope. So what is everybody working on this morning? Yes, Sean, I did get a lot done at Stephanie's retreat. We were working where I was basically up from like 7 to 8 in the morning, and I think the earliest we went to bed was like 1 in the morning. So there was a lot of time to get stuff done. Met a lot of wonderful people. It was great meeting Stephanie in person, and Steven and Shannon and Walter. I'm not going to forget about Walter. And then a lot of the other folks in the retreat. There was 14 in total. It was a lot of fun. Sean loves a new angle. Lynn says it's a great shot view. Good morning, Judy. Designing Jay is saying they're getting snow in Maryland. Yeah, you can keep that there. But with the retreat, it was a gorgeous facility. The quilt shop up there in Dahlonega was an awesome shop to go to. They had a lot of awesome fabrics. I will be sharing more detail on my haul during my weekly vlog tomorrow. I know we did a quick show of our hauls on Shannon's brunch last week. But because we were at the retreat, we had small amounts of time that we were able to just take away from everything because, we didn't want to make it a YouTuber folks event. We wanted to make sure we were social with everybody. Good morning, Jackie. And Sean is basting the Fab Farm quilt. That's going to be a lot of fun to see when it's done. I've seen a couple variants of it. There is one variant of it hanging in my local quilt shop. So I can't wait to see your version of it. Hi, Jeannie. So I'm just chain piecing a bunch of flying geese. And hopefully the actual putting together all of the pieces doesn't take too long. When I was at the retreat, I got Village Green from 0 to hero in 2 days. And it was the large size. So I went from 0 clues done to 9 clues done by the end of the first day. And then it took me most of the second day to get it put together. And the second day was the day that we went to the quilt shop. So really I lost a few hours putting it together. And then I started to hit a wall because, up late and up early. So it was a lot of fun, but I just love the fact that I can say you can complete a puzzle mystery quilt in 2 days from start to finish. Good morning, Katie Crafts and Robin. I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. Designing Jay said it was snowing up in Maryland. And here in the metro Atlanta area, it's just been rainy. But like since I've been up and took Riley out, it's just felt wet. It's not actually water coming from the sky rainy, and it's not that misty stuff. It's just very wet. Stephanie says that I'm working with her favorite pieces of fabric, the plaid. This is some gorgeous plaid. And Steven is liking the new camera angle. I still got some tweaking that I want to do with it, but it'll be resolved soon. Now that I can actually get two cameras working at the same time, I'm going to see what I can do about getting the view a little bit better and excuse me, everything. But like I said, playing with it is what's going to be done. Kathy likes seeing what I'm working on. Playing flying geese, or she's playing with flying geese on the AccuQuilt, the AccuQuilt way. Yeah, I kind of like the AccuQuilt flying geese because it's no waste from our side. I don't know what the waste is on the AccuQuilt side. It helps if I put this in the right way. But I know the puzzle mystery quilts that we get, they're AccuCut dies. They're die cut, and there's no waste in them from what we receive. I just don't know what the waste is on the AccuQuilt side. But yeah, Stephanie's retreat, it was a lot of fun. If you get a chance to go to one of her retreats, I highly recommend it. Just the wonderful people that we met and seeing everybody's projects that they were working on, that was just a lot of fun. And I'm going to be honest, I fangirled the entire time around Stephanie and Shannon and Walter and Steven. but I kept it in, so hopefully they didn't notice. They are wonderful people. What you see on the camera is pretty much what you get with them. So uh, they are just the nicest people that you will ever meet. And just hanging out with everybody at the retreat, just awesome. I got 6 projects done. And before you're like, wow, that's a lot, in my defense, some of those projects were really tiny, and every single one of them was a cotton cuts project because that way I didn't have to do any cutting. As I said, I got the village green done in purple. I'll be showing awesome pictures of that. And uh, then I got 2 table runners done from the um, Christmas table runners that they did. One of them I had all but one clue completed, and then the other one went from beginning to end. That one I'm going to work on giving away once I can get it quilted. So look for that coming up. And then I got 3 gnomes done. Their gnomes are, I'm going to say, roughly 12 by 22. Not exactly certain because I still have to measure them. But again, it's all pre-cut, so I was able to basically whiz through them. And once I finally got a method to the madness with the gnomes, they went a lot faster. Steven said that he noticed that I was fangirling because they were doing the same with me. And Stephanie says thank you. I mean, it's really thank you for doing the retreats. Without you, none of this would have happened. And Robin is going to a Soya retreat next month. That is exciting. Their first retreat, the first Soya retreat, was the week of my birthday, and I really pondered trying to get away for it, but I couldn't. So I'm waiting until the next time that maybe they have a retreat the week of my birthday, and maybe I can find a way to get away. Lynn says she enjoys the gnomes. Yeah, they are very easy. I've been showing off the pictures to my coworkers, and none of them see gnomes. And I think most of it's because we're accustomed to seeing boy gnomes, not girl gnomes. And the first couple that I did were girl gnomes. In fact, Steven, the gnome expert, had difficulty seeing the gnomes as well. And he was able to see it a little better in the distance than close up. But yeah, I agree. The girl gnomes are a little difficult to see at times. Good morning, Katie, Greenland Quilter. How are you? I saw that you were on live with Sean this morning. I didn't get up in time. I'm sorry. That's what replays are for, though. Irish Sail Lady says, good morning. Found that I was on, notifications not working. I've noticed that YouTube is 50-50 with notifications. I know that while I was at the retreat, there was a lot of notifications that I did not get that I should have. I was annoyed with. But I also say the internet wasn't quite the best up there. Good morning, Donnell. Has a friend picking her up. That's going to be kind of fun. I hope you're going to go do something really awesome. Hi, Kathy Klein from Central Illinois. Scissor, needle, happy face. Oh, lots of fun stuff happening. Riley had a lot of fun at daycare while I was at the retreat as well. But apparently, she's gotten this new thing that she likes to bite the tail of fluffy puppies. My first reaction was, is she flirting with them or what? You know how little girls will pull the hair of the boys they think they're cute in grade school. She's just a little handful at times. Good morning, Inez from stormy Newfoundland. Uh, yeah, I've heard that weather is a little crazy in some areas. I do not envy you with the stormy Newfoundland. Donnell is going shopping. That is going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you buy something exciting. And when I got home from the retreat, Percy basically spent 10 minutes yelling at me while being held in my arms because he didn't want me to let go. I found out exactly the reason why he was yelling, but that's a story for the vlog. Snowblower weather for sure. Yeah, the equipment that we don't have here in Georgia. Jeannie is asking what machine I'm using. It is a Brother BQ3050 Innovis. I forget what the baby lock equivalent to this is because Brother makes the baby locks, so a lot of their machines look like and have the same features as a baby lock. I've had this machine almost 4 years now. Now you can see the whole pile of half square triangles I've started. Yeah. Katie's asking what part of Georgia I'm in. I am in Marietta, Georgia, which is just outside of Atlanta on the northwest side. Yeah, that's the direction. I've been here in Georgia about, let's see, it was 22 and a half years. I think that's the math. Chain piecing has lots of fun. Katie's son moved him and his 7 year old, so your grandson, to Carrollton. That is like almost to Alabama, if I remember correctly, out on 20. I'm bad with Georgia geography. Good morning, Candace. Inez's baby lock just broke, so she's using her little brother. I mean, careful using your little brother. As long as he knows how to stitch, that's fine. But you might want to use a machine. Yeah, my jokes are still bad. The blank looks that I got when telling some of my bad jokes at the retreat was wonderful. Yes, Colleen, it is definitely good to hear the baby's welcome home. Yep, Powder Springs, I believe, is like just west of here. Again, bad with geography, but I own it. This is a lot of flying geese. I don't like the way that one's stitched up, so I'm going to put that off to the side to restitch it. I, I didn't say they were good jokes, Steven. And as I tell people, my mom is so bad at jokes, it took her 9 months to create one. Have a wonderful day, Donnell. Judy is in Dallas. I think the only time I really head to Dallas is to go to Lowe's. Robin's baby lock is in intensive care? Uh oh. Lots of people having issues with their machines. I mean, it is the beginning of the year, and people sometimes forget to get their machines a spa day. Mine's overdue for a spa day, so I need to get that scheduled. Inez thinks I look enough like her brother to be her brother. I don't know if my sister would share. Maybe one day I'll get a pressing cam as well. Because I'm not going to sit here trying to move the camera. So I'll just do a small number at a time. Am I going to the shop hop next month? Candace asked. I didn't know there was a shop hop next month. I'm going to have to research this. I do know next month I'm going to QuiltCon. But a shop hop I didn't know about. Good morning, Chloe. Jackie is waiting for it to warm up some because it's only 41 in Phoenix. I think it's a little bit. Actually, what is the temperature here? Where's my phone? Where's my phone? It's 41 here as well. Except we are very humid, so our feels like is probably much worse than your feels like. Oops. Need the rotary cutter. These seams aren't going to cut themselves. The one thing that I'm really happy to have now that I'm back home is my knee bar. I forgot to pack one when I went to the retreat. And the entire time I'm shifting my knees trying to get the presser foot to go up. So, needless to say, I'm working on finding my spare knee bar to put into my travel machine case. Because I have a knee bar for my embroidery machine, and because I don't use my embroidery machine as a sewing machine, I can use that knee bar. Yep, Stephanie, that is definitely the plan, is to put my knee bar in with my machine for the next retreat. Oh, Katie is going to QuiltCon as well. That's going to be fun. Yeah, I will. There, I won't lose it there. Rather need the rotary cutter than Jack. Inez is doing a mystery star quilt with Yvonne on Jelly Roll Club. I don't know if I want to do another mystery where I have to pick up my stuff. because the last mystery quilt that I did where I had to pick everything and I didn't see what the quilt looked like, uh, yeah, it's not coming out as awesome as I would have hoped. But that's because I went adventurous on colors and they didn't quite tell us how it was going to come out. Joan is just joining. Hi, Joan. What am I making with all the flying geese? I am working on week 5, 6, 5, 5 and 6. The last week of the Fort Worth Fabric Studio lighted up mystery quilt. It was a mystery quilt that ended early December for their Christmas stuff. All of the fabrics are Christmas fabrics, and we made a couple or a bunch of really cool blocks ranging from a present to lights and now flying geese. So I'm trying to get that done because I don't like leaving things unfinished if I can do this. So the patterns are free. The link is in the description box to the pattern. They may or may not have kits left. Uh, but definitely they have all of the fabric requirements available to you if you want to do this on your own. It's never too early to start Christmas quilts for next year. Stephanie of Quilting with Stephanie Stitches, she did all the tutorials for the lighted up quilt. So she's got some awesome tutorials out there if you want to see how to do all the blocks. I'm just sewing them up here because uh, she's a lot better at tutorials. As I'm reaching for the presser foot because I'm accustomed to that from the retreat. Uh, Judy is long arming a Christmas quilt she needs to finish, and Candace is making a last minute Christmas quilt for a gift. And Steven is trying to convince people to give me a like. You know, I should probably do that myself. Let's see, how do I do that on my TV? There we go. At least one person is giving me a like. Ooh, sparkle fabric. There were some really, really gorgeous sparkle fabrics at that quilt shop in Dahlonega. But I did myself to restrain myself. I did buy a couple kits. I couldn't help myself there. And a really gorgeous fat quarter bundle that I have no idea what I'm going to do with yet. But let's be honest, who only buys fabric when they have a plan for it? And then this will go here because that's about half of that. Yes, Steven bought one of everything from the store. Would they take 20 hours to cut you out? Did they stop you at Border Patrol, Steven? Asking how much you had to have purchased? Robin is working on So Yeah Service Project pencil cases. Oh, that sounds fun. A friend of mine ordered some of those pencil cases on their 12-hour live. Joan is having Christmas today, so they're just under the wire. Because today is Epiphany, if I remember correctly. Not that I remember a lot of what Epiphany means. Well, I mean, Stephen, in your defense, they don't know how much you came down here with, so. Good morning, Mona. How are you? Trying to separate my other fat quarter pieces so I can start trimming these. Lots and lots of gorgeous fabric. I just remember Stephen carrying this big giant bag out of the quilt shop. The bag might have been bigger than him. My plans later today, after the live, is I need to run to the J store to pick up some batting so I can try to get my village green quilt onto the long arm. And while I'm there, I'm going to pick up some of their. I think it's on sale for $2.99, which means it's not great quality fabric, but I need it to what is the word, pad the backing fabric for the table runners. So I'd rather spend $2.99 for a couple yards of fabric than full price for some quality quilt shop fabric. And then I can get those on the long arm as well. I love the way that Shannon um, did the matchstick quilting on hers, but I'm not quite good at domestic machine quilting. I need stuff to practice on. Candace asks, JStore question mark? Uh, Most people call it Joann's. Yeah. Um, they're big enough. I don't particularly want to say that I want to advertise for them, and a lot of folks, I'm going to say, aren't a fan of them. And in many cases, I will agree because if you don't know what you're looking at, the fabric quality is not great. But there's other times where you can get some really good deals, really good fabric. Their novelties are usually pretty good. Um, but I'm not. I don't normally go there to get anything that I want to have as a quilt, unless it's novelties or batting, just because coupons. And I'll be honest, you can't get Schitt's Creek fabric anywhere besides Joann's that I've seen. And I'm not going to buy online because I need to touch the fabric to make sure the fabric is a quality that I am okay working with. Uh, there's very few things that I will purchase online sight unseen. It has to be a it has to first of all come from a company that I know what their fabric feels like. So I know what Moda feels like. I know what Riley Blake feels like. I know what Free Spirit feels like. So I know what their stuff feels like. But secondly, it has to even be a designer that I know their stuff, because what you see on the screen isn't necessarily how it's going to come out in person. I've ordered a handful of things online that I've not been a fan of. I mean, it worked, but it wasn't quite the colors that I thought that they would be based on what I saw in pictures. So I just said, if I don't know the designer, I don't know if I'm going to order it online. Now, I have no issue ordering Tula Pink online because I know what it's going to come out and look like. I would prefer to support local quilt shops first, but if I can't get it locally, I will order it online. The same thing with Camille Roskelley. I know what her fabric is going to be, so I have no qualms ordering it online. And I may have ordered like a lot of stuff from Stephanie Stitches for Camille. She's got, or she had, a couple of her box kits ordered and put on pre-order on her website, and I couldn't decide between the two, so I ordered both. And then I've also talked with her. I'm like, okay, what are these other portions of the line are you getting, so I can know what I need to pre-order from her versus try to get from my local quilt shop. Because again, small shops prefer to ship support. That goes into this pile. Chloe's had that problem too. Jackie's asking how long will it take me to long arm it. Trying to figure out which it we're talking about. If it's the puzzle mystery quilt, I have no idea because I don't know which pattern I am going to long arm it yet. I've got a couple in mind. I've just got to make sure I have it on my long arm. But it's probably going to end up being about an all day process just because advancing, I'm still getting accustomed to. And I've had a couple times where when I advance the quilt, something funky happens, and I swear I'm going to have to record me advancing to see what I'm doing wrong so I know what to change. But the table runners, Those probably will take me next to no time because it's probably just going to be one, maybe two passes for each because I'm going to load them horizontally. Uh, so it'll take basically no time for each of them. Um, so the longer it's going to take longer to load them than it is going to have to put a pass on them on the long arm. But definitely the large village green, which is 72 by 72, is probably going to take the better part of a day for me. Chloe says she loves her local quilt shop. We all need to love our local quilt shop. They keep vanishing. I think Stephanie said that she has to go an hour to get to her closest local quilt shop. Judy asks, what kind of long arm do I have? I have the Handy Quilter Forte. It's a 26-inch neck, but due to space restraints, I've only got the 8-foot frame on it right now because I don't have a room big enough for the 12-foot frame. I have the parts for the 12-foot frame, so when I do get something built out where I can have room for it, I will be able to put it together with a 12-foot frame. But right now it's the 8-foot frame, so I'm limited to, I think it's about 80-ish inches. Right now it feels like 72 is about the largest I'm comfortable with. Probably can do a little bit bigger, but the 72s were a little large. But I've enjoyed playing with the long arm. Katie says Denver has a surprising number of really good quilt shops, and one is dangerously close. My nearest shop is about 15 to 20 minutes, I think. And then the next closest is about a decent half hour. All depending on which routes I take and whether or not I stop and get a drink at QT. But the owners of my local quilt shops love me to pieces, so I do what I can to keep them happy. And I'm going to have to stop at least one of them today while I'm out because I'm signed up for Stephanie's virtual retreat. Stephanie and Shannon has a virtual retreat coming up next weekend. And right before the live, I got the email that said, here's your fabric requirements. Go get them. And then I guess next week, the night before, we're going to get all the cutting instructions. Or maybe we got the cutting instructions I just glanced. So I'm excited for that. Almost done with flying yeeses. I got this pile and one more. Designing Jay is signed up for that virtual retreat too. Awesome. I love Shannon's methodology for teaching. I've seen it on her lives with Legit Kid stuff, and she's a great teacher. And watching Stephanie's tutorials, I know she's a great teacher, so I'm excited to see what happens at the retreat. Hey Shannon, of course you made it in time to hear good things. We always talk good things about people, especially when they're good people. Designing Jay says that they've done paper piecing before, but excited that she'll learn something from Shannon. Yes, I've done paper piecing before, and I've already learned many awesome things from Shannon. As I make a comment, I use the phrase price of admission, where there's always something in a class, even if I've done the technique before, that I will learn something, and I call it that was worth the price of admission. When I did my when I took the class for machine binding, the instructor was like, "But you already know how to bind." I said, "Yes, it's hand binding, and that takes hours. I want to learn how to machine bind." And there was something that she eventually said, and I just ended up blurting out, "See, that was worth the price of admission." Shannon was mailing off the table runner to Val and dodging snowflakes. Now I'm envisioning Shannon in a video game trying to dodge the dangerous snowflakes. Katie Krause is a total FPP beginner. So, what I will say is you need to find somebody who teaches the way your brain works. And I say it this way because before I was taught how to FPP, I would watch videos on YouTube University, and none of those videos made sense. I was terrified of foundation paper piecing because nothing made sense. A friend of mine, 7 or 8 years ago now, said, "I'm going to teach you how to FPP," and I was like, "Okay." And it was a we met at the local quilt shop, and it was me and another friend, and he said, "Okay, this is what you need to do," and he taught basically the way he learned, and I understood what he was teaching. And I said, "I don't know why I couldn't get this before, but you taught it very well." And then a few weeks later, I see something on YouTube or one of those PBS shows, and I said, "I know what they're supposed to be doing, but I don't understand." And when I've watched Shannon teach, her method I understand. So I know she teaches it in a way that my brain works. Maybe the way that some of these other people are teaching, folks are getting it into their brain. So that would hopefully be useful for them. It just wasn't useful for me. So, in the unlikely event that Shannon is not working for your brain, there's many other YouTube tutorials out there, but I'm fairly certain Shannon's going to work for you because, like I said, she works perfectly and she knows how to teach the little intricacies on what to do and how to keep organized. Organization is my bane. Uh, ooh, 3 inches of snow, but then ice, which is yeah. You need to stay safe, Shannon, because yeah, no with ice. Uh, well, with what we called Snowmageddon here in Atlanta, however many years ago it is, uh, people are like, but it was like 1/16th of an inch of snow. And we're like, yeah, but it was the ice afterwards that killed us. Because technically, you can't drive on ice. You still can, but you technically can't. I think I made Shannon blush. I'm just saying, Shannon's method is a very awesome method. I think there's a difference between if you've never done any sewing before versus if you have done sewing before on what methods work with teaching FPP. And because I'm sure most of us have done traditional piecing, I guess maybe that's the way that the method is it's likened a little bit towards traditional piecing, whereas maybe the other methods that I've taught or been seeing had absolutely nothing to do with traditional piecing. If that's what the difference between the two is. Okay, good. No more plans to leave the house. Ina says some of the drifts are halfway up her car. Depending on your car, that can be anywhere from 2 inches to 3 feet. I I agree, Lynn. It's definitely awesome to live in an area where I usually don't have to worry about snow or ice. Candace is talking about the blizzard of the century in '93. Judy says that she was here for Snowmageddon and had to go to work anyway. I don't know how you made it because the roads were so shut down. Whether it be because of the conditions or the fact that people just left their vehicles in the middle of the road. A friend of mine and I walked to Publix about a mile and a quarter away. And on the way back, we ended up just passing some other pedestrians. And we were basically mocked because we knew how to kind of walk on ice. I was about to say the word that they called us, but I realized that's not friendly enough. But I will say that my handful of years living in Massachusetts did help a little bit with me knowing what I can and cannot walk on. We had to walk to and from school, up hills both ways in snow in Massachusetts. And there was this one day I stopped at the mini mart on the way there and picked up a hot chocolate because I was cold. And I'm walking almost to school and I turn down the road that the school is on and my foot hit a patch of ice. One foot stayed where it was, one foot went that way. My hot chocolate went up and I went down. I laughed because it was still hilarious, but it hurt. Hurt my ego more than anything, but then again, I had no ego when I knew that I couldn't or that I hated winter. And while I will mock folks who go crazy here in Georgia just because we're going to get a little bit of wintry precipitation, I understand why they go crazy because we don't have any facilities here to handle wintry precipitation. The only reason why the folks up in New England and the upper Midwest are able to manage is because they have the sanding trucks, the snow plows, the brine solutions that we barely have here. Plus, we forget how to drive when it rains. Ooh, dust storms. Yeah, I think we had one of my trips to Phoenix. There was a dust storm coming. I think it was a light one, maybe, or we were heading out of town while it came. I don't remember the details, but I just remember the weird weather warnings of a dust storm. Yes, Lynn, that's what's happening here now, especially after Snowmageddon. If there's a hint of snow in the forecast, everything shuts down. Go to the grocery store, there's no more eggs, milk, and bread. So everybody's making French toast for this. And yeah, just the normal levels of panic happening. And I just say, I just don't want to go out in it. French toast casserole sounds good anytime. Apparently, when I was young, French toast was also either a clothing brand or a shoe brand, which I guess shoes are technically clothing. Because I remember on the kids' game shows like Double Dare or okay, Double Dare is the only one I can think of for kids' game shows. They would always say, "French toast, you don't eat them, you wear them." Which I don't think I ever saw French toast clothing. Inez says, "At least you can eat snow, you can't eat dust." Doesn't dust have a couple more calories than snow? I would think that it would have some sort of a calorie count. Because snow is just water. And if anything, water is 0 calories. Stephanie says dust storms are scary, so dark in the middle of the day you can't see the car in front of you. One of my trips back from Massachusetts, we were, I guess we were coming, I say we, it was me, coming down the mountains from North Carolina, or from Virginia, heading to North Carolina. And the signs kept saying fog warning. And I was like, but I don't, it's clear, not realizing my altitude. And then all of a sudden, it was so dense, you couldn't see the vehicle in front of you. So I'm white knuckling down the mountain on the interstate, praying that I don't run into the vehicle in front of me because they've had to stop for some reason, praying I don't like careen off the side of the mountain. It was terrifying. And it was like 10 minutes of just you can't see anything. And then all of a sudden we got down low enough, and at that point all the fog, which fog is just clouds, are above you. And I was like, oh, that's what they meant. No, I don't do like yellow snow. It was also like the first winter that I had in Massachusetts. The kids tried to get me to put my tongue on the flagpole. And I was like, I'm not stupid. I've seen A Christmas Story. Which also makes me wonder if they had to torture a poor kid, because that didn't look like that was special effects. I don't know what kind of special effects we would have had back then. But now, as an adult and working in the media industry, I'm like, what did they do to the poor kid to get his tongue to stick to the pole? And my last flying goose, except for the one that I had to fix. Using this laser level is very convenient because I don't have to do any markings. So, no, they did not triple dog dare me. Although, again, I don't know if I would have actually done it if they had triple dog dared me because, again, I knew what would happen. Bye, Mona, who needs to go make some lunch. I'm gonna have to make some lunch here in a few minutes too. Maybe I'll get something while I'm out. Shannon thinks she read it was a gentle vacuum action before he stuck his tongue to a hole in the pole. Oh, so it really wasn't cold. They just did, as we call it, movie magic. Maybe I'll have to research that one. Probably next year when it comes back into my head. So I think I'm going to start wrapping it up here. Don't forget all of the other awesome YouTubers that are live this weekend. There's a ton. I'm going to highlight a handful of them. Mom and Pop Quilt Shop is going live at 1 p.m. Eastern, so in about 45 minutes. So go check them out. My friend Stephanie Stitches, she is going live at 5. She's going to have a handful of folks join her for Carnival Clue 6. I need to find my box again so I can get that ready. Tomorrow morning, Sean, the guy who sews, has his weekly podcast coming out at 9 a.m. And then at 11 tomorrow, my friend Shannon of Slay Arts does her Sunday brunch. Don't know what she's going to be talking about this week and what she's happening, but it's always a lot of fun for Sunday brunch with her. And then tomorrow afternoon at 4, we have Stephen and Walter live. That is always a lot of fun. They think they have stuff that they're going to talk about, but the chat sends them a complete different direction. And then tomorrow evening, I will be publishing my weekly vlog, which is going to highlight the shenanigans that I did this week. It's going to have a lot of stuff from the retreat last week because it's now been 2 weeks since I had a vlog up. So there's going to be probably a lot of fun content in there. And then, as always, there's a bunch of excitement that happens throughout the week. I think this Tuesday is Two Color Quilt Challenge, not Two Color Quilt Challenge. That's done. New York Beauty with Shannon and Stephanie on one of the two channels. I don't know which it's happening. Chloe is asking if Sean is on with Becca. That I don't know. I don't know Becca's schedule on. I only know Sean's a couple days in advance when he posts his weekly breckies. So I don't know what's going on with them. But I hope everybody has an awesome rest of your day, and we'll see you this evening